So Wyatt Thompson, you're better known as Bunty.
Yes,
So
Bunty.
tell us how you got the name Bunty.
Oh, Paula, my Wyatt was a big mouthful as a little baby, and my mother was very keen on me to be with the horses, and I loved them. I had a little pony, and as soon as she took it away, I would burst into tears. And there was an old nursery rhyme at the time called "Cry Baby Bunting, Your Mother's Gone A-Hunting." That's how that started, and it stuck to me all my life. And it was all right when I was young, but it's a stupid name when you're 92.
So how old were you when you first hopped on a horse, Bunty?
Oh, I can't remember, Paula, but I've seen photographs. I've ridden all my life.
Yes.
For as long as I can remember, we had a Shetland pony for a start, and he taught me all sorts of good things and how not to get bad things, because the Shetlands are wonderful with kids, because if they don't treat them with respect, they let the kid know. And if you love them, they love you.
Yeah.
Always, all my life.
Yeah. You talked before with us about the connection that's important to have with a horse.
Yes.
Equestrian Australia have a central theme to our strategy over the next 4 years, which is for the love of the horse.
Yes.
So tell us about the connection that you've had with a horse and what it means to you.
Well, horses have always been part of my life. I've grown up with horses, and I'm very lucky that I have, and I really feel I understand horses. Horses do need psychology, and the owner must be in tune with the horse. And over the years, you learn that, and it's not something you can come into and immediately grasp. And I think that is one of the problems these days, that everything's done on motorbikes now and in little cars, and horses are not used like we used them. We used horses for everything. I used, even in my young days of a 20-year-old, I did my farming with horses, with draught horses. I ploughed and made my hay and did everything. And you understand horses if you can have all that experience. If you suddenly are handed a horse and say, "Here, take this horse out," you're not in tune with him unless you're an exceptional person. It's a problem, and it's an experience. And it's a love between two animals that you really have to be able to get the best out of your horse.
You've had some amazing horses, Pedro and Brown Sugar, to name a couple.
I've had amazing horses all my life, and I've bred a lot of amazing horses, and I have learned so much from them. And I've never had bad luck with my horses, put in the point of view of accidents that I'm not responsible for. The accidents that I would have had have been my fault. And that's something that people don't really quite understand. I feel these days it's become rather a social sport, and parents have been inclined to say, "Here, we'll get you this lovely pony, go off and ride it." Not as abruptly as that, but I think that's what happens.
Do you have a favourite horse?
Yes, I have two favourite horses. I have one called Pedro, who was my first famous horse, because he took part in everything, from champion hacks to even playing polo. I did everything on that horse, flag and bending races. He was fantastic. An event, and he was in the first 3-day event in Sydney that we had. He was champion hack for Sydney Show the same year. I think he was my favourite horse, and he was a wonderful stock horse. I used him for all the cattle work and the sheep work on the properties, and then he was very reliable. And Winston, my wife, who had polio and had to be a bit careful she didn't fall too often, she used to ride him, and he was just a wonderful horse. The other one, of course, was Brown Sugar. He was a horse I had for the games. I didn't have him all his life, and I didn't train him. I trained Pedro right from the beginning. Yeah, they were the wonderful horses. And the best horse I bred was a horse called Hennessy, who Luke Tynan used to ride for me. And he was in the World Championships at Gawler. He represented Australia in the individuals. But unfortunately, they changed his diet in Adelaide, in Gawler, and he got asturia during the event, and we had to pull him out. That was a bit sad. They were my three best horses.
Yes. And 1956 Olympics,
Yeah.
the horses weren't owned by
The
the
horses
riders?
were not owned by the riders, and that was a very sensible move because we had to ride each other's horses. We only took 6 horses away. They all belonged to the Federation. They were either given or donated, or bought or donated. And the reason for that was that we had a stranger in Transmeringa who was new to our training, and we were all strangers, and maybe that was a better horse for that rider. And that was the really object of that France could put us on any horse and would cope with that situation. And that was very good for our riding because we didn't ride the same horse all the time. We kept changing horses and doing different things with the horses, and it was part of our training. And in the end, France would decide which were going to be the best partnerships. Mm-hmm. And that was really why that happened. And it was a fantastic move because we couldn't say, I want to ride that horse. France would say, here, Bunty, you're riding this horse today. Mm. And then as it got closer to the games and we specialised, we were allocated the horse, or the 2 horses, that we would be, one we would ride and one would be the reserve. Mm.
Yeah. And what are your fondest memories of the 56 Olympics?
I think it was the team, really. We were a fantastic team. We really loved each other. We had one purpose, which was to put Australia on the map in the equestrian world. And that was the feeling amongst us. And so we worked together. We never fought. We just were the greatest friends. Mm. There was no argument. And I think the team was very carefully chosen because we all came from different backgrounds, we all had different educations, but we were people that were just the greatest friends, and we all supported each other. There was no argument, you've got the best horse, I should be riding it. That never happened. It was, everything was happy. Mm.
And we've just been looking at some images of the opening ceremony from the 56 Olympics, and it's phenomenal to see how integrated the horse was in the opening ceremony with the torch being lit. What are your memories of that involvement?
We were so lucky because it was the Olympic Games part of the horse world was in Stockholm, and Stockholm was made over entirely to the horses. Not like the rest of the world where everything is part of the games. We were individuals and we were individual country or individual representing our country in a completely strange environment. And the feeling of togetherness was fantastic. It was probably the most exciting time of my life, really. And yeah.
And the saddle that you had at the Games, where's that now?
The saddles that we had at the Games were saddles we went to Germany to get measurements. They were German saddles called Passiers. My particular saddle that I rode at the Games was one of those, and it's in the Melbourne Cricket Ground Museum. Yes, they've got some of my equipment there.
Well, Bunty, we appreciate the time you've spent with us today. It's been phenomenal to go through the memorabilia that you have and the amazing amount of material you also have about the Equestrian Federation. So thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Flora. Well, it's been a pleasure. And I actually am very grateful to have it recorded because I am the last living member. Which is not so good.